Hey everyone, Tom Morkes here, founder of Insurgent Publishing and the author of the soon-to-be-released book, Command, a step-by-step guide to collaborative product development. And today, I wanted to talk to you about how to build a lean sales funnel from scratch. So first and foremost, what is a sales funnel? Well, a sales funnel is kind of the sexy name we give for how to move visitors or traffic, people, online to our product or service, and so that we can sell them a product or service, right? And so the funnel itself is that process that we put them through, that they have to go through to actually find our product and then buy it. And when I say product, I mean product or service, just kind of generally. So what is a lean sales funnel then? Well, a lean sales funnel is taking that existing framework and optimizing it, making sure that we're reducing waste, we're not spending a ton of money on things that are unessential, and ultimately so that we're creating a larger return on investment, so that the effort we put into creating the sales funnel, it reaps a larger margin or creates more profit. So, with that said, how do we actually build one? Well, first it kind of helps to understand the three components of a sales funnel. And these are pretty simple, but it's important to understand. Number one is the product or service, what your offer is. You have to have that. The second component is the actual customer, the person. And then the third component is the process they go through to find your product or service and purchase it. Okay, maybe overly simplified here, but it's kind of important to recognize, because without the product, you obviously can't sell anything. Without the customer, nobody's going to buy anything. And without the process that leads them to it, nothing happens, right? So you need all three. And I say that because that leads into what we will call the lean marketing funnel. Okay, and this is what Matt Griffin of OneMonth.com teaches in his growth hacking course. And he goes through the 5 steps of the lean marketing funnel. Because understanding those 3 components, we can now go through the step-by-step process that they have to go through to buy your product. So step 1 is acquisition. As in, how do we get people to our website? Pretty simple. Maybe overly simplified, but for our intents and purposes right now, that's good enough. The second thing is activation. How do we get the user to engage with our content? How do we get that person to come to our website and then kind of like hang out there? So the third thing is retention. So once they've come to our website, they're going to leave. Everybody eventually leaves a website, right? How do we get them to come back? So ideally, the second part there, the activation, is that they subscribe or they opt in. That allows us to then re-engage with them and bring them back to our website. So that's the ideal end state for that. That's second step. So, and then third step, which I just mentioned, was retention, which is bringing them back again and again. We want to build trust. We want to build rapport. Number 4 is referral. So once we actually have somebody coming back again and again to our website, we want them to go and spread the word. That could be from word of mouth. It could be direct referrals, or it could be indirectly. How we build a product in such a way that it is viral and it allows people to share it and spread it. For example, if you have a piece of software with your logo on it, every time I use that software, say it's publicly viewable, and I see it, oh, okay, that's going to make me think of that company. So you watch a YouTube video embedded somewhere, which you might be watching this, you know that that is on YouTube. So you'll click through and you'll go to YouTube. That's what we kind of call maybe a viral coefficient, or some way to refer, or the aspect of the step 4 referral that's kind of indirect. And then number 5 is actually revenue. So that's, at the end of the day, what we want, right? We want to generate revenue. But you really can't create revenue without going through this other process. Now, of course, that said, there's ways to expedite this. So this is what I call the 1-1-1 product launch method, which is taking this concept and reducing it to its most simple form, which is this, the 1-1-1 product launch method. So what is that? Obviously, there's 3 components of that. Number 1 is you need to define and create one lead generation source, okay? Number 2, you need to create one splash page for people to land on. And number 3, you need to create one conversion technique, or use one conversion technique or one conversion system or process to turn those visitors into buyers. So let me back up to the first step, the first component, which is creating one lead generation source. So for this, we want to focus on just one way to actually turn traffic into customers, to get traffic to our website. So this could be focusing, say, on Facebook ads to be that funnel. We could focus on YouTube marketing. We could do Google AdWords. We could also do content marketing. Maybe that's our focal point. The point is to define one thing, that you want to use and focus on, because there's a million different ways you can go about it. But the idea of making this efficient and making this effective is to define just one thing you're going to focus on to be a lead generation source for your product or service. The second thing is the page. What do they land on? What's the splash page? And that splash page should be optimized based on what you're using to drive the traffic, so that people don't land on your page and are confused, right? So with Facebook ads, you want to make your Facebook ad consistent with the page they land on. If you're doing content marketing and you're teaching on one subject, and that leads them to a splash page that upsells them to kind of more maybe information on that same subject, that makes sense. But if it's something entirely different, that doesn't work. So the splash page has to be cohesive with how you're generating the leads. So that splash page, for example, what I like to use is a webinar. It's very effective. And then, a webinar opt-in page. And then the third thing, then this leads directly into it, is how do we convert it? What's our conversion technique? So if it's a webinar opt-in page, I want people to sign up for that webinar because they're interested. And then they sign up, and then now the conversion technique we use is a sales webinar. So we do a webinar, and then we offer a product or service during that webinar to buy. And of course, there's a million different ways to incentivize that. That's a different story, and for another time to actually get into the details there. But in a nutshell, that's the 1-1-1 product launch method. It's a lean sales funnel that focuses on just the essential elements that you need to turn random people, into loyal customers. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Scroll down right below this and go ahead and click on the link there for more information for bonus videos just like this. And I'd also love to hear from you. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments below. And of course, please share if you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much.